Hello guys, welcome back. We're not depressed or anything. It's been a busy day. We went out, we filmed in the snow, we did a lot of magic out in the snow. For reals. And I had an experience and you guys probably aren't gonna believe this. I shared it over on Patreon first. I did not get any pictures because they're damned clever, that's why. I done all the magic and I was like, oh, I wonder if the gods are even going to respond or am I just being silly? But I knew the snow was connected to Odin because we weren't really supposed to get snow. We kind of were, but it never really comes when we're supposed to get it, and we got a lot. And I'd done the ritual, and I thought, well, probably nobody even noticed or respawned, even though it seemed like they were saying they noticed and everything. So I feel a goddess tell me to put some birdseed out, and even though the voice didn't quite sound like her, it was on Freya's rose to put the rest of the bag out. It was a very specific request. Put the rest of the birdseed in the center of the rose that I drawn on the snow, and I'm like, okay. So I do that, I go in, and about, I'd say an hour or so later, I hear these crows call, and I'm like, yes, yes, I know. And something tells me to go to the window. And there are these two huge black crows, two of them, out there eating birdseed, and they're beautiful, and they're black, and they're pretty big. And I go to get my camera, and of course they knew. Like when I was holding the curtain open, they ignored me, but the moment I got the camera, they knew and they hopped away. And the moment I put it down and went back, they hopped back. They just weren't going to let me photograph them or anything. And they were playing a game with me. If I open the curtain too much, they hop away. But if I barely look out through, like, the panel, they were fine. So they were playing a game with me, but there were two crows out there. And with the two crows being all for a symbol, I'm like, that's definitely Odin and Loki and Freya. More so Odin and Freya, but I know Loki got his little fox paws in there somewhere. So Odin asked if he could have certain temples because Odin will put even other gods on a time limit. I've seen him do this before, and if they don't prepare or respond to whatever your request was within a certain frame of time, and only Odin knows what his time limit is, he will simply neutralize any power or any deals or anything else they have with you. So Odin cut a lot of deities out of the house. And he took all their temples for himself. I mean, immediately he laid claim to anything that went to anyone that had just joined the family, and he said they're expulsed from his territory because they clearly weren't interested in working and being vital pack members. There are no lazy wolves. Lazy wolves die of starvation. So, you have to. If you're in a wolf pack, you have to do your stuff. You gotta work with the pack, earn your keep. So he got rid of them. And he's not even remotely sorry. And I looked at him and I said, you used one of them at least to get what you wanted, didn't you? He just smiled at me. So this whole time, it's really been the old man's desires being played out. He knew which ones had weaknesses for what stuff. And he knew it wouldn't be something I would think of or perhaps easily agree with for him. And so he has a gambling casino. He got the gambling game, and I bought him a game already. I bought him a Black Raven card game. It's really fun, and we are really having trouble. Really having fun playing it. And it has black ravens in it and wolves, and it's right up his alley. And it's a strategy game, so he loves it. And basically, he used the others to get to what he wanted, but he would have allowed them to stay had they fulfilled their request. It was just, ironically, the snow was one of the things that a certain person had said, I will send snow. So you see, and weeks were going by, and weeks were going by, and nothing was happening. I knew this was attached to Odin and the Norse gods because Odin had got me up to wash my hair at around 4 a.m. And I looked out and I could feel from the energy. I know how crazy this sounds, but I'm a witch. I could feel from the energy it was Odin and it was the Norse gods going, okay, they had a chance. We gave them due time. You gave them everything. You gave them offerings. You gave them, temples. You gave them attention and love. You gave them gifts. They haven't done shit for you. So Odin, he has his own internal time clock, and Loki is clever. Loki will just watch and he'll let the old man do the work because the old man is a master at it. And if he thinks he has to land a preemptive strike, he will. I knew something was wrong because Loki does like to jump in the middle, but if Loki is jumping in the middle repeatedly and setting stuff back repeatedly, something's going wrong. And if you're starting to have like a little bit of bad luck, like a little bit of run of bad luck, I don't know why, because Tyr is not concerned with luck. I always think of Tyr first because usually when I start to have bad luck, I go to Tyr and Tyr's like, "Oh, you remember Tyr's a Norse god. How very kind of you." And the funny thing was, Tyr kept refusing a temple, kept refusing a temple, kept refusing a temple. Tyr might have just been waiting to watch things play out, and once everyone else was gone, I hear from Tears I'm going through my main house, making sure everything's okay and they all feel welcome. Tears like, I'll take this area right here. You're kidding. No, this is mine. I lay claim to it. Yes, my lord. So Norse gods will sometimes, I know it sounds horrible, but sometimes they'll play a long range game where they're like kind of playing a board game with the other gods that the other gods aren't even aware of. And they cleared the board. They're like, nope, and they cleared the board. And I think Auntie Sekhmet gets to keep her temple, but I don't know if Freya overrules her. If Freya lay claim to me again, and she does this, she comes in, she lays claim to me, she gives me a pretty good sign. We work together for like 20 minutes, and then Freya gets bored and she goes off, and I don't see her. It might just be the relationship we end up having where I'm hers, but she just isn't going to be in my life from day to day. And getting, So now I know, because I was like, it just didn't feel like as good as it was to work with the others. It didn't feel like I had my right. I don't want to give you the wrong impression, like my right team together. It didn't feel like the right amount of gods or the right gods were working together. Odin working with Freya, I've had a lot of success. Odin, Freya, and Loki working together, those three are unstoppable because they will work together and they will hunt like a pack. Freya likes to hunt. I don't know if it's in her lore or not. I can't recall off the top of my head. She likes to hunt. And if you have Freya, you have Freyr. I can guarantee you. And if you have Freya and Freyr, you're going to get Njord. And then it just cascades down into all of Vanir. And I think that they're willing to play the long range game. Remember, Odin is a god of the Vikings, Whether you glorify them or you hate them. Odin's very cunning, and he's, very good at battle, and he's very good at setting up traps for people to walk in, and he'll set up an extremely long-range trap. Now, that doesn't mean because they asked if he could work with other gods. Usually you can. Odin can be contentious, Loki can too, but usually they'll settle down into an ignoring you phase. But if Odin feels somebody isn't moving fast enough, he will shut them down. So he's been following me around all day, like, but you didn't stand up for them, my dear. You decided they weren't working. That's good enough for me. Why? And he knows the answer. He just wants to make you say it. I'm like, you're Odin. And I told him the thing that I told you guys before. People that work with Odin just has to randomly appear and they're like, Odin's here! Odin! And then they're jumping around like wolves in the first snow and they're hyperactive and it's Odin! Odin! What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And we lose our damn minds and Odin gets whatever he wants. He just has a compelling nature with people. So does Loki. And they both know it. They both kind of, even though Odin hasn't been noticed for it, he's got that rock star energy that Loki has that you will make a damn fool of yourself. They don't even have to try hard. We're making chicken and dumplings with veggies. Yeah, there's my oven. 1 second, guys. Ta-da! Magic. I think that camera keeps falling down. Anyhow, we're making chicken dumplings with vegetables because I wanted to reward Odin. I admire battle strategy. I admire him playing the extremely long game. And, when you work with Odin, you can usually take him at his word, except for when you can't. And it's usually going to be in your favor because he doesn't want to hurt people to the point where they'll never work with him again. He does love his people, but sometimes it's Odin first, sometimes it's Loki first. Very rarely. They won't go out of their way to hurt you. And I think Odin just wanted to see, as ruthless as this sounds, sometimes he will put his people with other gods and think, okay, let's see what you're going to do. And it could have just been an Odin test. He'll never tell me. And Loki will never tell me either, but they're both like this now. And Freya's all happy, and they have their lights on, and they got scent offered, and candles, and incense. And, if they want an all Norse household, I'm like, okay, because, I'm not, like, kicking all the other gods out before you panic. But, if at the end of the day, you end up serving who takes care of you. It's not that you don't love all the gods, it's that at the end of the day, you have to direct your energy and your time and your effort at having a good relationship with those who actually want to take care of you, as opposed to gods that are just going to sit around and put out their hands and go, give, you know? I get back here. So, they got extra temples now. We're making this. I'd offer Loki chocolate chip cookies. He's not sure because I told him we only got one pouch. He can either have chocolate chip cookies now or he can have I can make them for Valentine's Day. He's deciding. He will let me know. Because we have other cookies, but, I was like, I'll make you something special because it snowed and we got a lot of snow. I filmed the snow, but I figured you guys are sick and tired of snow. I haven't even looked at the footage yet. I might put it up on Patreon. I might not. I'm merciful to you guys. I know because I'm like basically landlocked. You guys cannot look at the same exact scene X amount of times. I do have mercy. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.